Go. Hello everybody and welcome back. It's me, ChipZ. And this is a show we call Chips Ahoy, where we basically do our initial read-through of a One Piece chapter the moment it comes out, or as soon as we can get to it. And it's a lot of fun. So thank you for stopping by and joining us on our One Piece journey. Today we will be reading the latest scans for chapter 1075 and reacting to it before anyone else with a brain does. So thank you again for joining me. But yeah, I'm excited to get into it. Last chapter was pretty sexy. We had fucking Kuma backstory, which is always a treat, something we've been waiting for years. At least I've been waiting for years. Excited to get some of that, finally. Very sad, but excited to see it through Bonnie's eyes. And then we also got, what was it? We got Big News Morgans, an appearance from the Big News boy himself. And then even beyond that, we got Vivi and Wapple, my two other favorite characters in One Piece. So it was a stacked chapter, a lot of good stuff going on. And Egghead's just been full of surprises. It's been full of like great cameos from characters we've been wanting to see. So I've been really into it so far. It's getting a strong Goda for me thus far, so I appreciate that. But yeah, before we get into the chapter, let's see what people are saying. So we got Sour in the chat. Good to see you again, my dude. How are you doing? Been a little while, but it's good to see you, my man. Fun fact, I wrote the script to an interview Reborn is currently conducting with famous voice actors. You know, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, Sour. I actually saw that whole thing get started on Twitter, and it was something that was very interesting to me because, like, I'll be honest, like, I'm a bit on the fence when it comes to sort of like this, you know, the AI debate, like when it comes to AI art, AI, you know, voice work and stuff like that. I have a lot of sympathy for the artists and the voice actors and people who feel like maybe their career might be in jeopardy due to these like ever emerging and ever kind of expanding automated tools. I have a lot of sympathy for those people, and I also I do think, you know, the way AI tools are currently being used in that space are rather exploitative. I don't think they're very well regulated. And I think that's the biggest issue, is regulation. Because I do think there is a place for these tools. And I was following Reborn and his conversation with the voice actor or whoever, who was kind of like getting a group of people together to jump on like a debate that Shreddit was hosting. And it's actually like, it was really interesting. I'm excited to listen to that episode. I didn't know that was being worked on right now, so that's exciting. I'll definitely listen to it as soon as it comes out, though, because that's something I've been kind of wanting to sort of explore a little bit more myself. Because, you know, I don't think, controversial opinion, I don't think these tools are inherently evil. But I know, controversial opinion for Twitter, at least, right? So I don't think they're inherently evil, but I completely understand why, like, people have a problem with it, especially when, like, a lot of the AI art tools that people use tend to, like, rip elements from, like, existing artists' work without their permission, you know? It's like, I was actually brainstorming this with a friend who is an illustrator, you know, he's an artist, and I was, you know, he's pretty staunchly against it, but we were talking through it, and I was like, well, what if there was, like, down the road, when things are a little bit more regulated, right? What if there was, like, kind of a tool or a system where artists could basically submit parts of their catalog, maybe not their entire catalog, but parts of their catalog, to be reference material for, like, an AI art program or something along those lines, and that being used as, like, potentially, and a similar thing could be made for voice work as well. So that way you're not, like, basically it's an opt-in thing where people can choose to add their art or their voices to the mix, maybe for, like, royalties or something like that. Like, allow them to, like, as long as it gives artists, because I never think that, like, I truly don't think that these tools are going to completely eclipse the work of, like, actual talent, because I just don't think they have that capability, even as kind of interesting as they get, you know. It's, you know, I do think that, like, down the road, once there's some more regulation in place, I do think there could be a place for it that would actually, allow artists to make money, by maybe like lending some of their work to a catalog that could then be used, but yeah, I do totally get that in its current state, it's a bit too wild, like, people, it's essentially like there is an element of, theft to it, which I especially with the voices, I kind of get it. It's like, if you're a voice actor and you're like, I didn't say that shit, like, it's kind of awkward to like hear yourself saying some like fucking cringe shit that someone else wrote. And I think I saw some people talking about it online in the sense that like it was being used to like add new lines to like an Elden Ring mod. And they were using like the Ronnie the Witch voice actress's voice and like kind of creating additional lines. And in that instance, like, if it's not being used for profit, I kind of personally don't have a problem with it. But I could still see why like a voice actor or voice actress who has their voice mimicked by this, an AI tool would hear that and be like, what the fuck, like I didn't give you permission to just like fucking put your hand up my ass and puppet me, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's a complicated discussion. I do think a lot of times like Twitter people tend to sort of boil things down to like it's right or wrong, like super hard binary, like without even kind of being willing to sort of discuss the merits therein. I do think the voice conversation, like the voice AI conversation, was becoming a little bit more interesting with people being like, this is neat, especially like in the world of modding where like it's not a for-profit industry. It's just like, this is just people are creating iterative art for the purposes of just sharing that art for free. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of cool and isn't like, I don't think that's causing intrinsic harm, but at the same time, like the more those AI voice tools become like more and more commonly adopted, you can start to have like just incriminating shit created to, mimic voices for people that you don't like or like public figures or whatever. It can get really messy really fast. So like there is a slippery slope element to it. It's a very complex and like interesting conversation. It's really exciting to see Shreddit like put their hand in the pot and just be like, hey, we're going to use our platform to facilitate a conversation. So it's awesome that you're like taking a part in that, dude. That's really cool. And like you and the Shreddit guys are, doing some cool shit with that. I think that's dope. So I'm excited to listen when that's out. Sour Lemon says, I also mostly know how to do the Haruhi ending dance. I don't know what that is, dude. I'm sorry. You'll have to show me later. That second one is obviously more impressive. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Correction. You had a Kuma backstory teaser. Did I say something else? Did I not say Kuma? A Kuma backstory teaser. Yes, we didn't get the full Kuma backstory, but we got the teaser. Yes. Thank you for correcting me there. Should be interesting. I at least like to think I wrote interesting questions. Oh, so you wrote like the questions or some of the questions for the discussion. That's cool. That's cool, man. I'm excited. I'm really excited to listen to that when it's out. Is it live right now, or is it just like being like recorded as we speak? Sour says, my ideal answer is that you sell your voice samples to an AI training database. I agree. Yeah. That's how I like that. Like, as long as it's opt-in, I really think it could be like a good thing down the road. But it's like there needs to be more regulation around it before it's not going to be like abused. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the biggest thing. I have a lot of sympathy. Like I have a lot of, or a fair few like illustrator and like voice actor friends, and like I'm even trying to kind of see if I can crack into the voiceover industry myself at the moment. So like, I have a lot of sympathy for people in those industries. Like it's competitive and tough, and people like to shortchange you a lot, and having a tool out there that allows people to like be like, well, what do I need you for? I could just take a sample of your voice and put it in my game or whatever. It's like, that sucks. But I do think there's like an element of like, the technology isn't inherently evil, it's how you use it, right? And like, I think with the appropriate like regulation, it could be used for good. And I think there are other ways, like with modding, for instance, that, maybe it could be, like with opt-in permission from the people whose voices are being mimicked, it could be done in an interesting way that is, like doesn't like screw people over, you know what I'm saying? Sarah says, but the point is that technology isn't inherently bad. Yeah, I agree. Just how it is used can be. Exactly. We agree on that. One of the terms I created for the interview is this idea of vocal identity. That's interesting. What it means to have your voice associated with you and what rights you have over it. That's really interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've never really looked into, like, what sort of legal, like, kind of precedence there is around that sort of thing. Or if a legal precedence for like, vocal identity or, like, kind of something along those lines exists. I imagine it does, because the music industry is a big behemoth. And I imagine they have something related to that in place and have had, some laws related to that in place for a long time, because, they have a lot of lobbying power. Those are some powerful people. So I'm very curious to learn more about it. I'm excited to listen to that episode. That's really cool stuff. I'm glad you mentioned it, because I'm happy to plug that here, because I was following that thread with Reborn on Twitter, and I was definitely very interested. So you don't know the ending theme for Haruhi Sumuya? Wait, Sumiya? I don't even know. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Is that a show? I assume that's a show. Fake weeb. I never professed to be a weeb, but, if the boot fits, I suppose. I wrote all of the questions being recorded. Okay, it's being recorded. And you sent a link. I will quickly vet this link. I'm going to copy a link address. I'm going to paste it in my browser. Hopefully it doesn't destroy me. No, I trust you, Sour. I don't think you would fuck me over in a big way. Let's see. Okay, so that's the theme. I'll listen to it a little later. I don't want to derail the stream too much. It's actually just a Rickroll. If only, man, if only. All right, guys, let's get into this fucking chapter, shall we? A little bit of derailed by AI art and the like, but that's okay. I'm excited to get into One Piece. We got some good shit coming here. At least I hope so. So let's do it. This is chapter 1075, Labo-Stratum Death Games. Let's see what's going on. All right. So the point isn't to listen; it's to watch. Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it after the stream. I don't want to derail the stream too much. Well, now it's time to have a phone call with my mom, so I have to mute you. All right, bud. That's okay. No worries. We'll catch you later. Thanks for stopping by, though, and hanging out for a bit. I'm excited to check out that episode for sure of Shred It. Labo-Stratum Death Game. So, we got another cover page of the boy. Stingray Head, the man himself, looking great. His eyebrows are so fucking far from his eyes. It's very uncomfortable. He has just a very disturbing design in his younger years. I like his old man form where he just has the apple head so much more. I find that so much less disturbing than this. So, good stuff. Good stuff, my man. Let's see what Oda has in store for us here. Grima 66's Cold-Blooded Voyage, Volume 31, granted an audience with the Five Elders due to his scientific genius. So he's met all these boys before. And we know that Lord Saturn over here, a.k.a., Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton over here, is on his way to have a powwow with his old friend Vegapunk. And Vegapunk, in this picture, in this cover spread, seems very excited to be meeting these boys. He seems very honored, very happy, very wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. This reminds me of the story of Joseph from the Bible, where Joseph was just like the most beloved son of his father Jacob, who had, essentially a dozen sons. And the dozen sons, which we saw last chapter, the the other members of Mads, just absolutely hated him. Just were so envious that they, were willing, basically robbed the guy and left him in a ditch to die, essentially, to his own brother. Sold him into slavery, I'm pretty sure they did as well. So, you never know how this little cover arc's gonna end. But in stark contrast to our boy Vegapunk, who's just fucking beaming with delight to be invited to Mary Joa, to meet the most powerful people in the world. They are all shrouded in shadow and mystery, and they are looking creepy and scary. and ominous. So, what does this foretell? We shall find out in the future. So, okay, back into the chapter proper. Come in, Pythagoras. Do you read me? So, Pythagoras, last chapter, I'm pretty sure he got by somebody. We saw him someone was following him. He turned around. We saw like an explosion happen, and he got fucked up. We don't know exactly who that was, why they fucked him up. Also, last chapter, we learned that Morgans is going to release like a piece on what's happening to Vegapunk, and basically saying like Straw Hat is, he's spinning it in a way to make the government look less bad because he wants their money and their approval and not to be an enemy of the state. So he basically went out and published he's going to publish the Straw Hats have kidnapped Vegapunk, which isn't exactly true, and he knows that, but it is what it is. And most likely, I would argue, or I would believe that I would guess, if I had to guess who from Egghead leaked this information, I would have to guess Stussy, because we know Stussy has a relationship with Morgans. They were buddy-buddy on Whole Cake Island during the wedding. They kind of had a powwow behind closed doors after Stussy killed Dufeld with her fucking she-gun, finger pistol. And, they escaped together. They were buddies. They were hanging out. So, Stussy's a real homie with Morgan. So if anyone leaked that information to Morgans, my guess is Stussy. My guess right now is Stussy. Mm-hmm. All right. Pythagoras, please respond. Clink, clink. Has there been an accident? You weren't caught up in it, were you? Snail 12. Building C, check out the surrounding area. So we see that there was an explosion. We saw this towards the end of last chapter, that Pythagoras was being followed, something exploded near him. So we see everything's fucked up. What's this, Daft Punk? I'm just gonna call him Daft Punk. He's monitoring the situation. He's like, yo, what's going on, dude? You all good? The snail is like ... Don't know what's happening. Oh fuck. So we see someone grabbing the snail, an unknown assailant. What was that shadow? Boom. Is it fucking, what's his name? Caribou? Perhaps Caribou is fucking around and taking out bitches. You never know. So, another explosion. Fuck. The snail has been got. Old boy, Dr. Daft Punk over here is looking worse for wear with this situation. Hey, bzz, the snail's been hit. What's up, Luffy? So now Luffy is getting a transmission to his receiver. Hey, helmet guy, is something wrong with this thing? Everyone's voice is cut off suddenly, so interesting. So the communication has been cut off, and there was a secret murderer. Although we know it's not one of these guys. It's not Kaku, it's not Lucci. The government officials down below seem to be getting fucked up by the Pacifista Mach 3. So I feel like it's not someone directly from the government. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I have no guesses. I have no idea who this could be. So, interestingly, Luffy seems to be the one to notice that something ain't right. Everyone's voice is cut off suddenly. Third floor, building A. Where are you, Vegapunk? Ah! Oh, nice. Precious gems. Gimme, gimme, gimme. So, Nami, doing her gold digger thing. Very cute. Or not cute. Don't fuck with it, bros. We don't fuck with thoughts in this stream here. Hey, ain't you being a bit forward? Most just say they're pretty. So she's freaking out over these clearly, not real diamonds, but, very obviously manufactured fool's diamonds, but still creating hard eyes for her. Probably still has some value, but whatever. Hey, ain't you being a bit forward? Or at very least, they were artificially created diamonds, perhaps sped up. Because I'm pretty sure, you can get, artificially compressed, pearls and diamonds and stuff these days. But I do not work in that industry, so I could not speak to it. Hey, ain't you being a bit forward? Most just say they're pretty. So we got Brook looking great with his fucking Dragon Quest slime helmet that I love. Brook's strip is pretty much always on point. I wasn't a huge fan of his, right after post-time skip look, where he was wearing, the crown and the guitar and the feather boa. But his looks kind of like ever since like Whole Cake Island and on have been just great. Like I loved him in the fucking not the burqa. He was wearing like a turban in Whole Cake Island. He was wearing like a cool outfit last arc with a top hat and like a slick ass black coat. And now he's looking great in his new fit. He's always looking good. There's no harm in it, right? Everyone's evacuating after all. So yeah, he's like, you don't care if we steal this money, do you? You're not wrong there, but I still reckon you folks have got a screw loose. I mean, they're fucking pirates, my dude. What do you expect? Phew, this is heavy. Shall we head back? So Nami literally just took it all without permission. Hilarious. Very funny Nami moment. Looking cute, as usual. But Jesus Christ, man, the pussy is just popping out. Good Lord. We're supposed to be looking for the Stella. I hate the Stella. Just call it Stella. Like, fuck the. The Stella is too many words. Fine, I'll just leave them for now, but we better come back this way later. So she's leaving it behind. You know, those diamonds are man-made. They're meant to be for industrial purposes only. What? You can make diamonds? What's with that look in your eyes? The future really is a place of dreams. Enough already. Stella, where are you? So this isn't Pythagoras. This is Edison, I believe. And then this is, God, I'm forgetting her name. I feel so bad. The one who was just beat up, Atlas. She's the one everyone's going gaga over because everyone's a pedophile. Just joking. So, second floor, building A. So your face is like a mask? Yep, I can replace any part of my body whenever I need. That's pretty convenient, actually. Replacing a part of your body would be quite useful, especially as you get older. That's the future for you. I wonder, are these Vegapunks? Wait, so what is she looking at? She's looking at, like, a fucking test tube with, like, a fucking weird goo in it. That's what Robin's looking at right now. God damn. Robin's hip dips. Jesus. Those are man-made organoids. Organoids, okay. Okay, Oda, with the science talk. I don't think those exist. They'll be indispensable for the doctors of the future. Organoids, huh? What? You can actually grow new organs? That's amazing. Oh, I thought these were Vegapunks organs and someone cut him to pieces. Oh, that's a great Robin line, man. That's a great Robin line. I love that. Robin saying dark shit is the best. That's so good. You're scary. Command room, 4th floor, building A. What's going on? Hey, helmet guy. So Luffy went over to Shaka. Shaka's the guy's name. Shaka. Hey, helmet guy. Edison, it's Shaka. Do you read me? I could hear everyone fine a second ago. I swear I didn't break it or knock it or anything, I think. So they're thinking, so Luffy thinks it's his fault. So he was going to, like, basically preemptively apologize. It's not that. Look at this. Bushun. So all the cameras are being fucked up. All the Den Moosh are getting fucking got. The camera feeds, they keep going out, one after the other. So something bad's happening. There's someone else in the lab. So there's like a boogeyman in the lab. This is kind of interesting. This is actually like kind of, it reminds me of, have you guys seen, what's it called? Memories? The Memories anime anthology, Magnetic Rose, is honestly one of my favorite like movies. It's a great like sci-fi thriller movie where essentially these kind of like space operators are basically they get a distress signal from like this ancient kind of decrepit, sort of like space station, and they enter it, and inside it's like this lavish mansion, and there's basically they basically start being kind of like picked off or like getting fucked with by like sort of this sentience. I don't want to spoil too much, but like essentially there was elements of it that reminded me a lot of this, and it's very unnerving. So I'm liking the mood that they're trying to set here with there being like an unknown assailant who's just kind of, and he's basically just setting up like who's with who, right? He's like, this is a group, this is a fun little group, 2 Strawhats to 1 Vegapunk, and they're all splitting up looking for the Stella's body, and now they got me saying the Stella as well. But it's cool. It's a cool motif, and I feel like they're going for a bit of like a thriller vibe, and I kind of like that for this arc. This arc is so different, and I'm really liking how Oda's, like, my favorite One Piece arcs are often the arcs where Oda really breaks his usual stylings, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get me wrong, I love, like, a classic, everyone gets a fight arc, I love that stuff. It's fun. But for me, One Piece is at its best when it kind of like breaks its own formula a little bit and kind of like does its own thing. So I'm liking this so far. This is interesting. Okay, so we got Sanji, Jinbei, and Stussy, my dude. All right. Second floor, building B. Right side. I can't believe I get to travel the seas with you, Lady Stussy. You were at Big Mom's party, right? Oh, shit. Callback. There we go. You can consider me your loyal dog. Just keep your eyes out for Stella, silly. Gives him the heart. Oh, and she... Oh, okay. So she's flirting a little bit. Hee. Heart. Nice. Cute. We got a little flirting between Sanji and Stussy. You'll love to see it. I will say, like, it's interesting that she attended his wedding, and now he's kind of, like, being a bit of a flirt to her as well. This part of the lab sure is huge. I like that she's kind of flirting, too, She's got the little hearts going on. She's kind of... she's entertaining it at the very least, you know what I'm saying? Like, Sanji is at his best when he's not just, like, a fucking raging simp, but when he's actually kind of, like, a little bit of, like, a ladies' man himself, Like, early on, that was kind of how he was characterized, like, when we first met him at Barati, and then in, like, the subsequent arcs, before they, kind of, like, right when they, like, Sanji didn't become, like, full-on, like, gross pervert simp until, like, a little bit later, And I preferred when he was a bit more of, like, the kind of, like, he's a little bit of a puss hound, he's a little bit of a simp, but there's, like, an element of, like, no, when he actually gets serious, like, he is impressive, and, like, women do kind of fall for him from time to time, and Oda has been bringing that back a little bit with the last few arcs, and I do appreciate it, so it's good stuff. This part of the lab sure is huge. That's because we're on the weapons development floor, so she seems to know a lot about this place. It might just be because she's technically, like, Vegapunk's daughter, kind of, in the fact that, like, he created her and she is his, clone and maybe treated like a daughter. Or maybe she just, like, has done her research and, has been here before. Who knows? You wouldn't want any shockwaves setting things off down here. Damn, and then we got... I didn't realize... What's this... What's what's the girl who, like, eats, shits, and fucks for everyone's name again? I'm blanking. I'm blanking, bros. York. Punk York. We got Punk Lilith. And, then we got Usopp and Frankie, the craftsmen of the crew. Third floor, building C, left side. A bubble gun. That's right. It makes the strongest bubbles. They can bounce anything back. So that's what not the Vegapunks, the Pacifista Mach 3 were using, were those that bubble technology, probably something that they mined from Saba Odi. We've already learned a lot about bubble technology and, like, how that's kind of like a core infrastructure that sort of the government uses. And, like, they even use bubbles in the G1 branch where Old Marineford used to be to, like, basically ferry people from G1 up to Marijoa. That's how, like, that's how the Royals got up there, for instance. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see the way that, like, bubbles are still an important element to, like, the technology ever since, ever since Subodi Archipelago. And it continued into Fishman Island and continued into Reverie and is, being continued here now. It's really cool. It's a nice running through line that I've enjoyed, and it's very particular to One Piece. Like, I haven't seen that really anywhere else, but I like it a lot. All right. So she's talking about her bubble gun. Gonna hit Usopp with the bubble gun. Yawn, sleepy girl time. She needs to sleep for all of them. I get it. I'm sleepy. What kind of attack just bounces things back? Have you ever seen your captain, my boy? Come on. Hey, Vegapunk! So he's yelling. This looks bad. What happened? So we got fucking York, who's taller than everybody. Jesus Christ, she's a big girl. I didn't realize she was a giant. There was no... Until the last chapter, there was like no frame of reference on how big York was. But Jesus Christ, she is a big girl. This looks bad. What happened? Is this the aftermath of that explosion? There's someone here. It's Pythagoras, right? Hey, isn't that Pythagoras? So they see Pythagoras has been fucked up. So that means they're probably going to be the first group to run into this unknown assailant. Hey, hang in there. Whoa, he's got no head. That's gory. Don't tell me it was blown off. That big boom we heard earlier was because of this. Russell. Wah! Who's there? Hey, don't shoot. It's me. Pythagoras. Or his head, anyway. Right, so Pythagoras' head has popped off of the body before. That's, you know, not surprising that he would be okay, but just, like, would have ejected from his main body so he could escape the hunt by whoever is kind of sneaking about. What happened? Some kind of accident? No, this looks like an attack. It was the darndest thing. It'll sound impossible, but I know my eyes weren't playing tricks on me. Hurry up and tell us. I'm forced to wonder if we made a grave miscalculation. Spit it out already. Yeah, I mean... where's York? Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, no. This isn't good. So I think, based on what's about to happen, it looks like... Oh, fuck. It looks like the, It looks like it might be the Seraphim who are fucking shit up, and we know how strong they are. So that's fucking dangerous, dude. She's imitating Edison's accent. Aw, didn't Edison order you to hold your horses earlier? York! You should really still be waiting out there, even though you're so cute. Aw. I like York a lot. She's really cute. Really funny. Really funny character. I like her design. I like how, like, sleepy and derpy she is. But yeah, I like her a lot. So, fuck! York, get away from her! Ah, love, mellow! So she hits her with the fucking... God. Jesus Christ. Seeing the butt crack and everything back there. Jesus fucking... Wow. Okay. So, Seraphim Bella hits York with the fucking love beam. She kicks her over. Might break her. Yeah, York! What? A Seraphim? Why are you here? What? You shouldn't be able to move on your own. I command you to stop. Oh, fuck. So maybe they've already been overridden by, the fucking, Gorosei, perhaps? Damn, that's not good. Okay, so... Does her fucking laser beam. Bam! Kaboom! Gwa! So everyone's falling down. Something's off here. Don't they realize we're Vegapunk? I know they're not accepting your orders. I know, they're not accepting your orders. Oof. So someone falls. Sonova? Didn't see this twist coming. Should I return fire? Oh, was that Usopp who fell through the second level? The fucking second bridge? That's pretty funny. I don't know what Sonova means, but I'll just kind of ignore that for now. That little girl's... Okay, so Frankie picks up Usopp by the leg. I like these, like, funny, like, little background jokes that are happening. This is pretty funny. Didn't see this twist coming. Should I return fire? That little girl's... Shaka! Shaka, respond! It's no good. We can't reach them. What? Quit joking around. We won't stand a chance in a fight. We designed them to be the most powerful beings around. Damn. I mean, they are fucking strong as fuck, because they have their Seraphim powers, which are similar to King, the Wildfire, who could, like, basically, like, as long as he had the fire on his back, he was basically invincible. So, I mean, they might be able to beat her, but, like, she's got Pacifista power. She's got the fucking love beam. She's, you know, they're, like, fucking dangerous. Even someone as strong as Frankie... I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, we don't really know how strong, like, the Vegapunks are. But it sounds like we won't stand a chance. You know, that's what Lilith is saying here herself, so. Command room building. Command room building A. Give me a hand, Luffy. Huff, huff. What's up, Zoro? Huh? What, you? S-Hawk, S-Bear, stop this immediately. Who ordered you to move? Good. You can stop them, right? They were gunning for CP0. Oh, fuck. Letting them die in cuffs would leave a bad taste in my mouth. Oh, so they're trying to kill CP0? That's interesting. So Zoro's trying to protect them from these guys. Damn. Okay. That's interesting. Fuck. Ah, they're not listening. So Luffy basically saves everyone. Oh, well, actually, Zoro grabs Kaku. Luffy grabs Lucci and Shaka? Shaka, I think, yeah. And damn, huge fucking explosion from the beam, and then also a slash from Mini Vegapunk. If they won't take my orders, then they must already be acting on a command issued by a Vegapunk. Oh, fuck. So a Vegapunk gave them the order to attack. Even though we know that, what's it called? What's it called? The, Saturn. The, Celestial Dragon. Or the, Gorosei is on his way. So maybe he already issued the command somehow. We didn't see him arrive at the island, but it's possible. That's like the only person we know who can override a Vegapunk command. Unless one of the Vegapunks overrid it themselves. But Shaka seems to think it came from a Vegapunk, which is interesting, but he doesn't have all the information, so maybe he's wrong, or maybe this is Oda basically telling us, you know, one of the Vegapunks is the one that kind of overwrote this this command, and it's just a matter of figuring out which Vegapunk is the traitor. That's what we're trying to figure out. On a command issued by Vegapunk. What? Between the communications blackout and the barrier sealing us in, this is beginning to seem like an elaborate plan. Somebody's trying to kill us all. What? They want us dead? Those no-good Seraphim scamps. Hey, Straw Hat, Roanoa, how about we let bygones be bygones for now? Oh shit, we're gonna get a fucking team up? We could form a temporary alliance. The two of us would be much more useful out of these cuffs. They look disgusted, so they're making the classic Odin disgust face from the Odin flashback. Gotta love that. Oh my god, that's pretty funny. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. These are good faces. They look disgusted. I wonder if it's these guys saying that. It's probably Shaka saying that. They look disgusted, but wow, I did not expect a fucking team up between... You know what's crazy? Okay, so back during Water 7, I remember that it was crazy because Polly was the one who felt so betrayed by CP9. When CP9 were like, oh, they were shipwrights, and then they, or like worked for the Galila company, or like worked in the town, and then were like friends with everybody, and then they turned out to be secret agents who were just in it for their like master plan to capture the blueprints for Pluton, and they were like ready to like basically, you know, fuck everything up, and they basically screwed Polly over, and Polly basically had this like real like crisis of conscience, you know, where he's like, I trusted you guys, how could you do this to me? And they basically like, Lucci just was like, you know, hey man, it's nothing personnel, kid. So I kind of, this is an interesting role reversal where now these guys, like, because Polly initially didn't trust the Straw Hats. He initially blamed the assassination attempt on, what's his name? On, what's the guy's fucking name? Iceberg. He blamed that assassination attempt on the Straw Hats. And similarly to what we're seeing now, like, the CP0 is like, this is all the Straw Hats' fault, we gotta take him out, like, they're colluding with Vegapunk. But now they've been betrayed, and Lucci was clearly, like, very hurt by the whole situation with Stussy. He, like, you know, he really seemed like, you know, very, you know, distraught by the whole thing. Because clearly they trusted her, you know? And when she fucking turned out to not be on their side, you know, he was, like, legitimately, like, upset and mad, and, like, it was interesting. And now we're kind of seeing what appears to be sort of like a reversal of roles, where now these guys are like kind of the scorned party who are being hunted by something or someone. Maybe it's Stussy? I don't know. Who knows who's controlling them at this point? It might be another Vegapunk, it might be Jupiter, but now that they have failed their mission, they're trying to be taken out. So maybe they'll be riding on the ship too. Maybe we'll have to team up with them in like a long, like in more of like a long form way. Like maybe they're going to be kind of fugitives from the world government, which would kind of alleviate some of the issues I've had with them. It doesn't completely take away the fact that like they had a cover story where at the end of the cover story, they shouldn't have been friends with the world government anymore. They should have been on the outs and doing their own thing. And now somehow in between that and the 2-year time skip, they got back in the government's good graces, joined CP0. But now, you know, whatever's happening, the Seraphim are, whoever's controlling them wants these guys dead. And I could see it being like, Saint Jupiter or whatever, like the, whoever is controlling them right now, if that's Jupiter or whoever it is, I could see that being what's going on. Like completely overriding, because that's the only thing I could see completely overriding a Vegapunks command. It could be a member of the Vegapunks, it could be one of them. It's not impossible, you know? But to me, it seems more likely that it's Jupiter, because we know he's on his way. He might already be on the islands. You know, Kuma was with him, fucking, what's his name? Kizaru was with them. Both people who can travel at the speed of light, basically, or like teleport or whatever. So it seems to me that it's most likely that they, like, these guys have failed. They've outlived their usefulness. They've failed too many times. It's time to take them out, right? That's what would make sense to me. It could be a member, it could be a Vegapunk, it could be a mole within the team. That's not impossible. I just can't think of who it would be. You know, Lilith would have been my first choice because she's the evil one, apparently. But I don't know. I feel like I kind of, like, she seems like kind of incompetent, or at the very least, like kind of too too rash, like brash of a person, you know? Like she doesn't have, like, maybe the only other person I could maybe see it being is Shaka, Logic. I could potentially be, like, of all of the Vegapunks I could see being a traitor, it's honestly this guy, Shaka, or Daft Punk, as I've liked to call him, because he's the one who kind of has control of all this, like, stuff. Obviously, he would have to have someone else in on it with him, but he's the one who, like, seeing that he's the logical one, I could see him being the type of person to be like, you know what? Following the world government's plan is like is the way he feels is like the greatest good for the greatest number of people. If he's like a true utilitarian logician, that would make some sense. And I could see him, like, I feel like the Stella is a bit too, like, personally involved. Like the Stella seems to care about everyone. Where it's interesting because the Shaka and Lilith have butted heads a little bit over, like, Shaka being like, we got to do the right thing, and Lilith being like, but why can't we bust some heads, man? Why can't we just fuck some shit up? But I feel like at the end of the day, Stella's the one that's, like, smart enough and the most well-connected and logical enough to be like, no, I can actually, like, outmaneuver all of the other Vegapunks on my own and, like, potentially be the one to kind of, like, sort of, you know, maybe he's the one, for whatever reason, that's loyal to the world government, because even if, like, you know, maybe he doesn't agree with everything about the way they run things, he still thinks they're going to do a better job than whoever came before or whoever might come next. So it's hard to say. Like, I would guess, like, the only one, like, we haven't even seen Shaka's face, and maybe Shaka doesn't have a face. But, like, that's the one that Shaka's the one that I'm kind of, like, the most sus of right now. Like, I don't know, we just saw fucking York get got, basically. Lilith seems a bit too, like, emotionally rattled by everything to really be the type of person who could, like, coldly calculate this sort of, you know, thing that's happening right now. Shaka obviously seems surprised by what's going on, but at the same time, we haven't seen their face. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, Pythagoras and the other guys... So we got Pythagoras, who was attacked, so it's almost definitely not Pythagoras. We also have... what's his name? I forget. Well, we got this person, who was also attacked. I suppose it could be... Atlas, although I kind of doubt that it is. I mean, Atlas maybe would want revenge on, you know, fucking CP0 maybe, but I don't know. I don't think it's... I just don't get the vibe that it's... What's his name? This guy, Edison? I don't know. Edison just seems like too much of a good old boy. He doesn't seem like... Like, I don't know. If any of these guys, like if we're, like, even thinking back to, like, Water 7, like, even if you didn't predict that Rob Lucci was, like, one of the bad guys, his design kind of looked like he could be... Like, he kind of looked like a bit... Like, his design looked a bit too serious, and he was, like, really strong, and I'm like, this guy kind of, like, has the design... Like, I remember thinking back then as I was reading it, I'm like, this guy kind of, like, looks like a badass. Like, he looks like a villain, kind of. Like, he kind of has, like, a top hat, he's got the suspenders, and I remember when he put on the suit, there was kind of a moment where I'm like, oh, like, that's why they designed him that way. Is like they kind of like the design almost like tipped us off a little bit. Where here, like I can't see, and that's maybe not the best thing to go off because obviously I didn't think the same thing with Kaku. Kaku just seemed like a fun dude, and when he went to the dark side, it was like a big like, oh fuck, not Kaku too, you know? Like I actually like that guy. But Shaka, on the other hand, we have not seen Shaka's face. Shaka has come off as sort of like the reasonable one of the group, the one that's like less interested in like experimenting and like more interested in like, you know, seems to be more willing to like work with the Strawhats and stuff. But somehow Shaka still seems the one that is the most sus to me. And I know he's kind of explaining that there's a plan going on here, but if any of the Vegapunks were to be a traitor, I would have to, like, my first guess would be Shaka, because Shaka clearly seems like the most together of all the Vegapunks. He seems like the one who's kind of like the smartest, the most logical, but also like the one most in control. And I feel like if any of these, you know, Vegapunks are to be feared, it's Shaka. So I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, but that's my unofficial guesstimate at the moment as to who might be, if it's not just, you know, Saint Jupiter or Saint Saturn or whatever pulling the strings to this incident, I would have to guess it's Shaka. Shaka would be my second choice as to like who might have set these guys on the warpath. But fuck it, man. We're just gonna have to find out next time. Interesting chapter. They're really building into like the intrigue of like who's behind this and what's actually going on here. Why are the Seraphim attacking us? And that's like genuinely like a dangerous like force, because we know that these guys are like basically as dangerous, maybe even more dangerous than they're like the people they were cloned from, because they also have like the, you know, the cyborg powers and the fucking Lunarian powers. So like they are a force to be fucking reckoned with, like even for guys like Luffy and Zoro. So I do love, this is a great bookend for the chapter though, the unprecedented team up, and it looks like we're not on break next week, so that's exciting. But yeah, that was a great chapter. I'm excited for the next one. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of ChipZ Ahoy, and I will see you in the next one.